capitalism and its cost. Let's go back to the idea of we the people for a moment. We know that education was one of the things that was left out of the Constitution. It was left to the states. Part of this is because there's very high local interest. Parents really want the best for their kids. And so we elect local school boards and we hire local teachers to meet the needs of those children. What that means is that at this point in time, education has very highly qualified teachers. And believe it or not, given the current rhetoric, minimal pay. Given the degrees that most of us have, we came into education knowing that we were going to pay for a 4-year degree in education, but then we were going to serve the public good. We knew that on entry. We also knew that we would top out the pay scale within about 15 years of work, which means that the additional 15 years that we work before retirement, and for those of us that continue on even after we're 65 or more, we knew that we would not be getting additional pay increases other than incremental degrees just to meet inflation. Now, let's talk about how capitalism fits into that picture. I know a lot of people are very interested in privatizing public education, sending that money to vouchers, to charter schools, other places. Let's talk about what that means for our country. If we go to for-profit, what that means is that highly qualified teachers are going to expect a lot more money and benefits in line with competitive industry positions. As a teacher, basically I'm a manager of 30 people. If you think about an average manager, that person has their own office. They have a secretary to help with administrative duties. I don't have any of those things. I came into education knowing that I wouldn't have them. So I use parent volunteers and other people to meet those needs when I can, and a lot of hours spending on my couch with papers, shuffling and filing, as you can imagine. Now, what does it mean if we go with the capitalist model in education? Our current government is asking for teachers to take pay cuts. Maybe that's in line with our current economy, and teachers can debate that as we would like once we have this ironed out for how the system's going to work. But if we switch to a system in which education really is a for-profit system, what's going to happen is that we're going to be offered a lot less pay. And what that means is that most of the veteran teachers with many years of experience and good control of their classrooms are going to be leaving to go join industry, because quite frankly, we can make a lot more money doing that. And what it will mean is that either you will have poorly qualified teachers, or you're going to have entry-level teachers. In California a few years ago, Gray Davis, the governor at that time, was trying to praise Teach for America. And while I'm in favor of that program in terms of what it does, he made a real blunder in his thinking. What he said was that after 2 years, these fantastic teachers go on and get their real jobs. Well, let me tell you what happens. In regular education, 50% of first-year teachers don't come back for their second year. It's too hard a job. Of the people that make it through their second year, the statistics say that another 50% drop out after that point. That leaves you 1/4 of the original teachers in the buildings to run the school. If we go to a capitalism model, most of those teachers are not going to want to stay. Now, let's think about this. We've done this very same thing with medicine. 100 years ago, most of our hospitals, most of our doctors, and most of our nurses worked in the same situation that teachers worked in. They came into those professions because they believed in what they did, and their goal was to serve the public, not to make a profit. If you look at medicine now, it's one of the biggest budget items that we have. If you continue pushing education toward a capitalist model, we're going to have the same problem. We, the people, can't afford it. We need our teachers who depend on the public school system to make this work.